Freddy's Unlocked is a super high quality FNAF fan game on Roblox that for the most part I believe is heavily underappreciated. On the surface, it may just look like another FNAF 1 remake, but trust me, it gets much deeper than that. From the interesting art style to the unique gameplay mechanics and even boss fights, join me on the ultimate breakdown of Freddy's Unlocked and why I think this is the perfect FNAF fan game for Roblox. And don't forget to subscribe. I only have half a subscriber right now. We moving. First things first, I'm almost like required to geek out about the art style of this game. When you load into the game, you'll be put into this Freddy Fazbear themed pizzeria. And this place does only serve as the lobby to the actual game, but I think it's still worth talking about. At the back, you can see all the animatronics lined up on this wall. Here, you get to take a close look at the designs of the animatronic crew. To my knowledge, this is the only place where you can get a good close-up look at the animatronics because I don't think there's an extra menu or anything. But this gives a perfect prelude to what you're gonna get yourself into. Now, this game does have a single player and a multiplayer mode, but for the sake of this video, I'll only be focused on the single player mode because that's where the actual game is. But Roblox games use these group teleporters all the time when moving you from the lobby to the actual game. And if you actually get close enough to the door without actually going in, you'll see someone trying to lure you in with a slice of cake. That sounds a little familiar if you ask me. And when you actually go into the door, this happens. And one can only imagine what just happened to our character. A cutscene begins inside the pizzeria where sirens can be heard in the distance. Then we cut to seeing the unfortunate fate of 5 children that were lured into the back room by none other than William Afton himself. Now let's get to what y'all are actually here for. When starting the night, you'll find that it's very similar to FNAF 1 in terms of its layouts and camera systems. But there's one major change though. If you take a look at the doors, you'll find actual doors there. Not these 10-foot pure metal doors like in actual FNAF 1. These are regular doors with doorknobs for regular people. I think this design choice, along with these animatronic designs, makes this game feel way more grounded in reality than most other FNAF games. And in this game, you also have a flashlight that you can use to shine at the doors to see if there are animatronics there. This flashlight ends up becoming your best friend, which I'll talk a little bit more about later in the video. Similarly to FNAF 1, Bonnie and Chica will follow a similar path to your office, where Bonnie will approach you from the left hallway and Chica will approach you from the right hallway. That's just textbook FNAF at this point. If you actually look on the door, you can see a tag hanging with the corresponding character on it. I can appreciate little things like this. It just looks so real. But yeah, Night 1 is meant to be an easy introduction to how the gameplay loop will be for the rest of the game. If Bonnie or Chica happens to make it all the way to your door, you simply just need to shine your flashlight on them and they'll go away. Bonnie will show up at your actual door while Chica will look at you through this window. The doors literally won't work on these two, which brings up a really good question. Who are these doors actually for? Night 2 is where the main man Foxy gets introduced. And also, similarly to FNAF 1, Foxy will be at his pirate cove and demands to be stared at. The more you have your camera on Foxy, the less aggressive he'll be. I personally do really like this Foxy model a lot. I think it looks the closest to a real life animatronic in my opinion. You know what I mean? But if he happens to leave the cove, Foxy will sprint down the left hallway similarly to FNAF 1. And here is where we have our first actual use for the door. All you have to do to combat Foxy is to hold the left door closed until you hear the banging and scratching go away. And apart from Foxy, Night 2 is basically the same as before. The difficulty is slowly starting to ramp up as we get introduced to our next and probably most threatening animatronic, Freddy. Now up to this point, all the other animatronics we've covered function very similarly to FNAF 1, as you know. But that trend stops right here with Freddy. Well, kinda. He does still laugh every time he moves on the cameras, and he does initially come down the right hallway. Keyword though, initially. Once Freddy has made it to camera 4B, which is the one directly outside the right side of your office, he will try to attack you. Literally, as soon as you hear him laugh, hold that door closed. And if you did it properly, you should hear Freddy laugh again, signaling that he went away. But if you weren't quick enough, Freddy's pressure never ends. It's important to keep a general feel for where Freddy is at all times. You need to be able to know if Freddy just laughed because he's getting closer to you, or to close your door because that laugh means he's currently attacking you. And not only that, if you successfully defend against Freddy enough times, he will give up on attacking you from the right hallway and start attacking you from the left hallway. So not only do you have to pay attention to his laughs, you also have to track his mix-ups as he switches from hallway to hallway. There is one more way you can fight Freddy though. He can't move at all if you stare at him on the camera. So if he's actually about to attack you, you can stare him down on the camera to stall him out. Watch him long enough and he'll go back to the end of the hallway and start the whole process again. This definitely won't get hard to manage on later nights. I think I just lost. But before we talk about this next night, I want to talk about the night menu. This menu has its own custom music, and as you scroll through the nights, you can hear it getting more and more intense. Like here, take a listen. This is one of the first things I noticed when I first played this game, and I love it. We do appreciate the little things here. Also, in this menu, as you scroll through the nights, you can see who the main threat of each night will be. Oh wait a second. Wait, who's that? In this night, you can basically throw everything you learned in the last 3 nights out the window. The pizzeria is completely empty and we're left with this message: answer the phone. When listening to this phone call, you can hear the phone guy trying to leave another message for you like he's been doing every other night up to this point. But in the background, you can hear this constant banging until he unfortunately meets his fate and is killed by one of the animatronics. And this is where the fun begins. Night 4 is a one-on-one face-off with the animatronic Sparky the dog. Sparky will slowly move through the pizzeria and you have to keep track of him on the camera. And I'm not gonna lie, the devs cooked with this one. Sparky looks genuinely terrifying on these cameras. And to my knowledge, Sparky doesn't have a predictable path and will kind of jump around going where he feels like it. Eventually though, he will show up on one of the cameras closest to your door and will attack you. Dealing with Sparky is as simple as shining your flashlight on him to make him go away. One thing I didn't learn until night 8 is that Sparky actually holds your door open. Like, you can't close it when Sparky's at your door. And just look at this guy, yo. Easily the best part about this night is Sparky's boss music. Because the phone guy is the one who dies, it's safe to assume that he's the one that goes on to possess the Sparky animatronic. And as a result, we get this banging phone guy theme. But this night is basically an endurance test to see how well you can manage your camera and power usage as you fight for your life. Easily the most enjoyable night in the entire game. Now we're back to normalcy with the original FNAF crew back. Night 5 and Night 6 are basically the same, but Night 6 is a little bit harder in difficulty. I did struggle a lot with Night 6 in particular. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said the flashlight would be your best friend? This flashlight ends up becoming your best friend. Well, here's what I actually start. Because the difficulty of the night is harder, you'll end up using your flashlight more often than you did before, leading to the battery running out more. But my Night 6 struggles came when the flashlight just chose not to work. I died so many times on Night 6 to me shining the flashlight in their face and it just not working. Oh my god. But it is what it is. I still ended up beating Night 6. And instead of using the doors to deal with Freddy, I started staring him down on the cameras every time he got close to send him away from my door. And yeah, that's Night 5 and 6 down. Now, ultimately, I wanted to complete Night 8 for this video, and you'll see I was really excited about reaching this point. Okay. Night 8 is called the Rave Night, and it's the hardest night in the entire game. It's even harder than the 420 max mode custom night on Night 7. Only 146 people have ever beat this night. Like, it's deep. Aesthetically, it's supposed to resemble a dream space where every animatronic is out to get you. Like, this night also has Sparky in it. Like, that's how deep it is. It's almost like having to learn an entirely new game where Freddy's the main threat. In other nights, when Freddy's outside your door and he laughs, that means he's about to attack you and you need to hold hold that bit close. On night 8 though, you need to know that he's outside your door and know that he's about to attack you and hold your door closed in advance. And because Freddy thinks he's so smart and tries to swap hallways on you, it gets really rough. And the more you use your cameras to keep track of Freddy, the less time you have to look at Foxy, which makes him more aggro. And then the flashlight animatronics. The combination of Bonnie, Chica, and Sparky all needing the flashlight to deal with them puts the flashlight on life support at all times. Sometimes you just unfortunately die for not having juice in the flashlight when you really need it. Then Sparky has the nerve to hold your door open when Freddy's trying to attack you. Like, this night genuinely pisses me off. I will beat this night eventually, but it's just so hard and time consuming, and if I wait any longer to release this video, I might crash out. But that was Freddy's Unlocked, the perfect Roblox FNAF fan game. Of course, I'm using the word perfect loosely here, but do you see any other Roblox FNAF fan game with a one-on-one boss fight in the middle of it? Nope. I didn't think so either. I really love the attention to detail that this game has. And I think that's all I have to say about Freddy's Unlocked. The game will be in the description as always, and I'm gone. Save.